Hi, my name is Bre'Anna. I'm from Houston, Texas, where I was recently the assistant sprints coach and the head throws coach at Klein Forest High School. I'm currently applying for the position to fulfill the head throws coach at Sam Houston State University. The most important attributes I see that my athletes need to have is they have to have will, they have to be committed, they have to be able to adapt, and they have to be determined. I say willing because if there's not a will, there is no way. You cannot simply be in something and not want to get better at what you're doing. If you don't will to get better, if you don't will to do the workout, if you don't will to get through it, then you'll never get through it. You have to be willing to do this, because if you're here surely off of a scholarship, or you're just doing it just because, then there won't be much success coming from you. I say committed because I know all athletes, all students, period, they have other commitments outside of this program. They have other commitments outside of school. But because they expressed an interest in this program, I expect them to have as much commitment to this as they would anything else. And I know that academics comes first, and whatever may be associated with academics, but your athlete second. So I just expect commitment from this also, because if you're not committed, then that means that you're wasting your time, and I'm wasting my time that I can be invested in other athletes who are more committed than they are. I say they must be willing to adapt, because this sport alone is strenuous, is just adding strenuous stresses to the body. I'm talking weights, running, period. Week by week, training block by training block, you're deteriorating your body. You're breaking down muscles. You're building new ones to become bigger, faster, stronger, who have you. But if training block by training block, you're still lifting the same, or you're not dropping your time, then therein lies a problem, and we have to question if you belong in this side of the program, or maybe we need to put you somewhere else, or maybe you're just not fit, period, to be in the program. And lastly, I say determined, because determination is just seeing what isn't there. You have to be determined to do everything. If you're not determined to get better, if you're not determined to drop a time, you're not determined to throw farther, jump farther, then you're not going to do it. Athletically speaking, I would say that talent and work ethic are almost one and the same, because a hardly talented person can work their way to be talented. They can put in the extra hours, the extra weights to match a person that is talented. Now, as opposed to a talented person who just has what they have naturally, they can lack work ethic. A talented person can often be lazy and seen as arrogant because they already have what they need to be successful. But if a talented person lacks work ethic, they can work harder to excuse me, they can work harder to gain a better work ethic and to become more talented. So they're both interrelated. They're both one and the same. You can use both to better your skill set and become better than what you are. I feel that an athlete participating in multiple sports can do as they please, as long as they know the risk and the dangers associated with participating in different sports, because clearly every sport works different muscles, and come time when the seasons actually clash together or when one is about to run into the other, you have to maintain a healthy body and make sure that your muscles are fully recovered in order to participate in the next season of your sport, as opposed to just letting your body run down without without proper treatment, because therein lies a conflict in what season you may participate in, if any at all, because you're so hurt. Success to me is being knocked down, but looking up and still seeing that you have a goal in mind and getting up and chasing that goal or dream that you aspire to in the first place. It's an endless cycle. Success is madness because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again in hopes that you're going to get it right eventually. And to define success for my athletes in my program is basically, are you doing, or what are you doing to assure that you're reaching the top? I believe good coaches possess character, they have patience, they're great life coaches, and they're great communicators. And I first say character because how can one that doesn't necessarily have great attributes or has great self worth or character himself and try to teach the masses and a group of athletes how to become better than the person that they are now? Patience, because athletes make mistakes. There are some things that happen in track meets that go amiss, but athletes make mistakes. Rome wasn't built in a day. And to have patience, you have to have patience with these athletes in the process. You can't just expect them to have it straight off the bat, as and um if you don't have patience, then your athlete is not going to have patience. They're not going to have faith in what they're doing because you're getting frustrated with them. So, in order to be a good coach, you also have to be in love with the process. It's not just your athlete here. I say that in order to be a good coach, you have to be a good life coach. Ultimately, most athletes aren't going to pursue their sport as a profession, or they aren't going to do this for the rest of their lives. So you have to be more than willing to just teach your athletes about physicality or professing and mastering this craft that is only going to take them so far in their life. You have to be able to teach your athletes discipline and become a how to become a great citizen, how to be a great person, and how to go about in life with people. Because the sports period teach you so much other than just a sport. It teaches you willingness, how to be determined, how to be a leader. There's so many attributes that are associated with being in a sport that it's more than just being an athlete. It's about becoming a better person. A good coach also has to be encouraging. I mean, athletes hardly can hold their own weight. They need someone to give them an extra push, which is hence why a coach is there in the first place. They're there to lift their athlete up when they're feeling down. If they feel like they didn't hit a mark and they were supposed to hit a mark, the coach needs to critique them and be like, "Hey, you got this." Nice slap on the back. It even goes so far as to personal issues if the athlete and the coach have that type of relationship with each other, which I encourage, because the coach needs to be able to remind the athlete that they are their number one support, and that no matter what they're going through, whether it be personal or related to the sport, that the coach has their back and that they will get through it together one way or another. And lastly, I think that the coach should be a great communicator. Without communication, there is no team, there is no direction. Yeah, there are those athletes that can just pick up something and run with it and teach themselves and find all the resources they need to master their craft. But you cannot solely rely on that. And some coaches think that that's the best way to teach an athlete, to let them find their own mistakes. But without communicating with their athletes, there is no team. There will surely not be any success, because in order for the athlete to get better, they need their coaches to critique. They can't critique themselves. They're going to think that they're doing it right all the time. And a lot of athletes, some arrogant athletes, think they have it all figured out. But um communicating with your athletes and making sure that they're okay, like I said, athletically, physically, or mentally, then that's what the coach needs to be.